The motivation of Fen'Harel's actions, that was referenced in the Codex in the previous video, is hinted at throughout the game if you know what you're looking for. The biggest clues to Dreadwolf's motivations come from the discussion options he can have with you after leaving the Temple of Mythal. After the knowledge of his true identity is revealed to the player, his opinions on the ancient elven gods are even more interesting.
You don't even believe in the ancient elven gods.
I don't believe they were gods, no, but I believe that they existed. Something existed to start the legends. If not gods, then mages, or spirits, or something we've never seen. But if you remove the layer of nostalgia from stories of the elven gods, you might see the danger. They were arrogant and fickle. They warred amongst themselves. They had feuds, vendettas. And you are bound to one of them now.
Could these negative opinions of his peers be what motivated the actions that earned him his infamy? I mean, he did show in a conversation with Sarah that he knows how to take the top down and has a passion for that end goal.
I heard about your organization, Sarah. I am impressed.
Is this a trick?
Hardly. But it is an opportunity. You have already divided your group's membership. That is wise. No one cell can betray all your secrets. The next step is to establish a rhythm. When your enemies pursue, you vanish. When they become complacent, you harass them. When they are weak, you strike in earnest.
Where'd you get all this, then?
Do you wish to be unnerved by another tale of my explorations of the Fade? Or do you wish to learn something?
I don't know. Neither?
Once you have the aristocracy weakened, Sarah, you will have to redirect your lieutenants.
Oh, this again. All right, what am I doing?
Some of your forces, valuable until now, have no interests beyond creating a disruption. Chaos for its own sake. They must be repositioned where they can do no harm, or removed if necessary. You replace them with organizers willing to build a new system and carry out the ugly work that must be done.
What? Why? What ugly work?
That is up to you. Do you wish to destroy the nobility, secure a title, or change the political structure entirely?
None of it. I don't want any of that.
I do not understand you, Sarah. You have no end goal for your organization.
Nobles get rattled, and people get payback. I play in the middle.
Why not go all the way? You see injustice, and you have organized a group to fight it. Don't you want to replace it with something better?
What, just lop off the top? What's that do except make a new top to frig it all up?
Forgive me.
But why would he want to do such a thing? In a conversation with Dorian, Solas continues to emphasize that the powers that were in Arlathan were no better than Tevinter, and he encourages Dorian to take action if he were truly sorry for the situation.
Solas, for what it's worth, I'm sorry. The elven city of Arlathan sounds like a magical place, and for my ancestors to have destroyed it.
Dorian! Hush. Empires rise and fall. Arlathan was no more innocent than your own Tevinter in its time. Your nostalgia for the ancient elves, however romanticized, is pointless. If you wish to make amends for past transgressions, free the slaves of all races who live in Tevinter today.
I don't know that I can do that.
Then how sorry are you?
So, is that what Solas did? Did he take action against what he saw as corrupt? In the book, The Masked Empire by Patrick Weeks, which discusses a lot about elven history, there's an interesting point made about the elves in ancient times. Though the image of a glittering empire appears amazing and desirable for a modern-day elf living without it, Falasen, an enigmatic elf in the book, says, "Then tell me, Dallin, who scrubbed the floors? We were an empire. It was not a golden city. It was not the peaceful afterlife of the maker these humans have made for themselves. We were everyone. Every atrocity you seek to avenge for your broken people in their alienages, elven nobles committed upon elven servants." Also, if you're a masochist like I must be and romanced this guy, in one of the romantic scenes, he lets you know that the Valaslin, or the face tattoos that the Dalish take pride in, were actually slave markings in ancient times, and he offers to remove them for you, which allows you to have an informed choice, something that seems really important to him.
The Valaslin. In my journeys in the Fade, I have seen things. I have discovered what those marks mean.
They honor the elven gods.
No, They are slave markings. Or at least they were in the time of ancient Alathan.
My clan's keeper said they honored the gods. These are their symbols.
Yes, that's right. A noble would mark his slaves to honor the god he worshipped. After Alathan fell, the Dalish forgot.
Sorry, anyway. If the elven nobles, or perhaps the gods themselves, took slaves, forced them to tattoo their faces to display whom they served, could Solas have been fighting for those slaves? Could he have trapped the gods away in order to free the common people of Arlathan?
Alasa Malarevas. You are free.
He hints in a conversation with Cassandra that he believes that the elven gods, who again he doesn't consider real gods in the first place, needed to be taken down a notch and to stop abusing their power.
Solas, if you do not mind me asking, what do you believe in?
Cause and effect. Wisdom as its own reward, and the inherent right of all free-willed people to exist.
That is not what I meant.
I know. I believe the elven gods existed, as did the old gods of Devinter. But I do not think any of them were gods, unless you expand the definition of the word to the point of absurdity. I appreciate the idea of your maker, a god who does not need to prove his power. I wish more such gods felt the same.
You have seen much sadness in your journeys, Solas. Following the Maker might offer some hope.
I have people, Seeker. The greatest triumphs and tragedies this world has known can all be traced to people.
This could also explain his animosity toward authoritative organizations.
I noticed, Solas, that you did not seem surprised by what I uncovered about the Seekers.
No, they are an organization.
You think organizations to be inherently corrupt?
Given enough time, yes. To survive, an organization must devote resources to maintaining itself. Those resources inevitably accumulate, until the original purpose, however pure, is all but lost.
You make the Seekers sound like a mindless beast.
A beast, no matter how mindless, will die and give way to a successor. An organization is eternal. There are always corrupt men who hoard power for their own gain, and there are always honorable men who hoard power to fight them. You think to share your power, to avoid the temptation to misuse it. A noble sentiment, but ultimately a mistake.
Why?
Because while one selfless woman may walk away from the lure of power's corruption, no group has ever done so.
I trust my friends.
I know that mistake well enough to carve the angles of her face from memory.
He especially shows disgust toward Vivienne and her drive for power over others, as well as toward Iron Bull's Qun, a religion/lifestyle which doesn't really allow people to have any choice or free will. And he also shows his disgust for any of his companions who do not take action or use their power for the better of others.
You said this world would be brighter if all thinking creatures were stripped of individuality. You only lack the will to get more blood on your hands.
Tell me something, Solas. Do you think the servants here are happier than the people living under the Qun in Parvalan?
It doesn't matter if they are happy, it matters that they may choose.
Choose? Choose what? Whether to do their work or get tossed onto the street to starve?
Yes! If a Ferelden servant decides that his life's goal is to become a poet, he can follow that dream. It may be difficult, and he might fail, but the whole of society is not aligned to oppose him.
Sure, and good for him. How many servants actually go do that, though?
Almost none. What does that matter? Your Qun would crush the brilliant few for the mediocre many.
I don't see any tattoos, but you're carrying a staff. Are you from a Chantry Circle?
No, and I would prefer not to discuss it.
Have I done something to offend you?
You joined the Qun?
After they rescued me from slavery.
And put you into something worse? A slave may always struggle for freedom, but you among the Qun have been taught not to think.
Solas, not the time.
In many other conversations with multiple people, he passingly mentions standing up and fighting for the oppressed.
Every war has unintended victims. All too many go unnoticed.
If the elven gods and the Forgotten Ones were continually warring among themselves, were the common elven people paying the price? Did Solus take action against his peers in order to stop this from happening and allow the common people of Arlathan to have that free will and choice that Solus seems to value so much? Let me know what you guys think in the comments.